Test 1, 2.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I'm glad I brought 3 other people.
Good job.
It's the first time that Barbara has been inside the sanctuary. We did the Shafiyah.
Aw.
Nice. Very nice. Well done, Deb.
You talk to every 4 times a day. 4 times a week.
What?
I'll take that as a one.
I don't talk to anyone 4 times except for you and my wife. And Stephanie, my other wife.
Right, the 3 wives.
And my daughter.
Okay,
And
I just
my
wanted
son.
to clarify that.
Deborah, this is not good. When does a person know? When does a person know that you shouldn't be on my own? You know, it's a hard thing. You have to. No, you're not. We're going to pick you up, put you on my shoulder. I felt it. I like you. I'm just getting to know you all. Stop this.
And people are still going up the outside of the steps, which feels
Look, you know, we do something in this, we put flowers there. You know, 2 flowers.
We could just have some like big floral.
We may have to do something.
Years ago, I retired first of the year award.
Time to hand that over to someone else, my friend. Got it.
Hi, how are you?
I also shrunk then, I guess. Maybe that's what
Something was different about this cancer, but I don't quite know what it was.
Oh gosh.
Better start at 7.
So funny. Page 128.
In the blue pagination system.
To get used to that.
Yeah.
Yedid nefesh harachaman, Yedid nefesh harachaman, Mishochavdecha, Eretz onecha, Mishochavdecha, Yadai, Eretz onecha, Yarutz avdecha, Kemo hayam, Yishachave, Emul hadarecha, Yarutz avdecha, Kemo hayam, Yishtachave, Emul hadarecha, Yedid nefesh harachaman, Yedid nefesh harachaman, Mishochavdecha, Eretz onecha, Mishochavdecha, Eretz onecha.
Shabbat Shalom. It's so nice to be in our sanctuary. And at least we have a minion, so thank you for coming. And welcome all of you who are with us online as well. As we continue with the lighting of the Shabbat candles on page 121 and 120, we're using the blue pagination system. So if you see two pagination systems, use the blue one. And leading us in the light of the candles, Neil Winnick, page 120, 121.
Can I take this off? As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
And now that we've welcomed Shabbat, I invite you to welcome the person next to you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Wave at someone near you, wish them a Shabbat Shalom. Good job. That was beautiful. You are good. No, you will not. Hold tight. Blood was all over. Cool.
Page 130. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai, raise a shout for our rock and our deliverer. Lechu ner Adonai, l'Adonai, nariya, litzor yishenu. Lechu ner Adonai, l'Adonai, nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu. Nikad mafana. Litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu, lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu, nikad mafana, b'toda, b'zmirot nariya lo, nikad mafana, b'toda, b'zmirot nariya lo. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu. Lechu neranena, l'Adonai nariya, litzor yishenu, litzor yishenu.
Love that piece. Page 135, Romemu.
Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu, leishtachavu, lehar kodsho.
Page 138, we continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamichad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'litila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki hi mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sof maaseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hit'oreri, ki va'orech kumi uri, shir daveri, kivod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Bo'i v'shalom ateret bala, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
Page 142, Shalom Aleichem. It's like the best hits of Erev Shabbat for us this evening. Isn't that cool? Yeah.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei HaMlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem Leshalom, Malachei Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zeitchem l'shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Melech Malchi Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai dai 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 dai, yai dai 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 dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, yai dai dai, yai dai dai dai, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Page 144, we continue with our Chatzi Kaddish. Transition.
Yitkadav, yitkadash mirabamin, be'amad yivrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon, uv'chayetecho beit Yisrael, bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv ve'imeru, Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach, Le'alam Ulal Me'al Maya.
Yitbarach.
Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yitma'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shemei D'Kodesha,
Brichu.
Leila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma ve'imeru. Amen.
The bugs miss us being outside, I
They
guess.
do, that's right. The shop is
They've
fun,
moved
so it's
inside
okay.
as
Yes,
well.
that's right. That's right. We continue with Baruch Hu on page 146. Please rise if you're able, either physically or in spirit. Page 148. Baruch Ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, בחוכמה פותח שערים, ובתבונה משנה עתים, ומחליף את הזמנים, ומסדר את הכוכבים, ומשמרותיהם ברקיר כרצונו. בורא יום ולילה, גולל אור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום מביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים. Page 151. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. As we turn to page 152, 153, I invite us all to take a deep cleansing breath in. Exhaling out.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Ve'haft on page 154. Please be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
We join together on top of page 155. Love your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai your God. Page 157. We join in responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there's one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
Yechamocha 158.
Adonai et Yaakov, ug'alo miyad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael.
Page 161. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu l'shalom. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu l'shalom. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu l'shalom. Ashkivenu, Adonai Eloheinu. Ashkivenu
162, we continue with Vishamru.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם, ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש.
We continue now with our tefillah on pages 164, 166, 168. Please rise if you're able, again, physically or spiritually.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avoteinu, ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chastei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi ge'ula livnei v'neihem, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו, לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Page 171. Days pass and the years vanish, and walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we gaze that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Blessed is the Eternal One, the Holy God. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. Please be seated. Page 175. We join together in the bottom of the page. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, and our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadcha be'ir'ah na'avod. Page 177. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha lachet na'eh lehodot. Page 178.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai, hamevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom.
Take some time now for the prayers in our own hearts and minds. Take a few moments of silence.
We now focus our energies toward those who are ill and in need of healing. On this Shabbat, we think of Sandra Adams, Salaria Mendez, Chana Bat Miriam, Eliana Bat Chana, Ivan Aronson, Bob Bell, Robert Berg, Mort Berlant, Dr. Arnold Berliner, Sandy Beinstock, W.L. Bradley, Barry Brown, Brenda Boucher, Rich Burns, Esther Burton, Dr. Ed Kahn, Chu Chi, Sandra Cohen, Carolyn Franklin, Barbara Fiedman, Holly Fugit, Marina Gaffney, Sharon Jenkin, Mandy Gillis, Harry Glaze, Mary Gold, Charlene Griffin, Ted Guglin, Linda Harris, Dr. Gary Height, Jessica Jessen, Mimi Jones, Evelyn Katz-McCosker, Liatzvia Batlibav Elchanan, Shirley Lerner, Carol Lesage, Litia Leos, Bobby Lotman, Austin Lucero, Janice Lucero, Karen Mack, Sid Melbourne, Vivian Cooper Moore, Gunther Mayberg, Brad Parkins, Gabrielle Pollock, Stephanie Rasmussen, David Rice, Carol Ross, Linda Rogers, Dolores Sams Hoy, Gary Sanders, Laura Sanders, Malachi Sarensen, Donna Shine, Donna Thyman, Pham Tai Trang, Gina Thrower, Wendy Oakham-Waggle, Teresa Walsh, Ginny Watson, Nancy Weisenfeld, Sue Witten, Sherman Wong, excuse me, Brandon Yarkin, Madison Zales, and everyone who's suffering from coronavirus. If you wish to add another name to our healing list, I invite you to raise your hand. Thank you. We wish upon all those named and those who remain unnamed, the refuah shlema, a speedy and complete recovery, as we join together on page 371 with Debbie Friedman's Mishaberach. Well, here we are, October 1st. Crazy how time is flying by this year. With the finishing of the high holidays, we get that sense, though, of starting over. And starting over can feel really good. So, too, we begin our Torah reading cycle again, beginning with our creation narratives. This portion will always be dear to me, Bereshit, not just because it is the beginning and talks about creation, but it was my bar mitzvah portion a long time ago, a very long time ago. But why begin the Torah with the creation stories? The great commentator Rashi asks, if Torah is our particular story, Why does it begin with the universal record of creation, taking 11 chapters before our people come onto the scene? Rashi's question reminds us and teaches us that our particularistic story leads us to universalism. As my colleague Rabbi Josh Weinberg states, the Torah's lessons in morality, ethics, and values are not provided for our self-preservation alone, but are meant to be applicable to the challenges and problems we face as human beings. Nowhere is that more apparent than in the opening chapters of our story. The book of Genesis offers two creation stories in chapter 1 and chapter 2. Two different worldviews, ideologies, and approaches to how we are expected to relate to the earth. Two grand ideas about what our role as human beings should be. Genesis 1 instructs us that we should fill the earth and master it, thereby positioning ourselves as rulers, conquerors, and occupiers over all of life. Genesis 2, however, tells our story as stewards, caretakers, managers, and custodians of the earth. In the first story, we are given Shabbat, a day of rest, unique to humanity among all other creatures. In the second story, we experience exile from Eden, and we discover our mortality. These seemingly opposing stories reflect two approaches to the earth, and specifically to the land of Israel. Are we to be absolute rulers and masters of our domain, or are we to work with the land and protect it with defined moral parameters? In the second story, the first humans defied God's command and ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, resulting in their permanent exile from paradise. But do we learn our lesson to be at one with nature, tend and preserve it? Seemingly not. Understandably, Israelis are first and foremost concerned about security. Unlike our country, where each of us have our go-to issue, for Israel, security is everyone's go-to issue. But the climate crisis is a threat multiplier. Any nation that fails to protect itself from the effects of climate change threatens its own stability and national security. Already in the Middle East, the failure to resolve existing challenges of water scarcity is a national security issue, actually. A surprisingly large number of people, though, die in Israel and around the world from extreme weather amplified by global warming that has accentuated the power and frequency of storms, floods, drought, and the effects of heat. Trends indicate that many more people are in danger as climate threats increase. The real enemy is facing all of us. The frequency of heat waves, drought, forest fires, floods, and hurricanes have quadrupled over the past 4 decades and continue to rise. By 2050, almost 100 million people could be forced to migrate from coastal areas and other inhabitable locations as a result of climate change. It is alarming that last year, 81 countries increased the percentage of their GDP that goes into military budgets without any increase in allocations to address climate concerns. The world cannot afford such losses, especially as we recover from the massive death and economic suffering brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic. This year, each of us can and must make a change. Instead of seeing ourselves as rulers and conquerors, we can regard ourselves as stewards, caretakers, and humble servants seeking to sustain all of life. As I talked about on Yom Kippur, this year is a Shemitah year. The Shemitah year is all about revisioning our relationship to creation. Instead of being owners of the land, Shemitah reminds us to release that illusion of ownership and embrace our place as partners with creation. This Shemitah year, may we be blessed with finding opportunities to let go of the illusion that we stand apart as owners and instead embrace our partnership with creation, bringing joy to ourselves and to the earth. Amen. And with that, Kevin Zwick will do some very special announcements.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Kevin Zwick, and on behalf of Temple Emanu-El's Board of Trustees, I'm thrilled to welcome you back into the sanctuary for this Erev Shabbat service. This Sunday at 10 a.m., it is not too late to join our new weekly interactive Musar Torah Studies group on Zoom. Our own Rabbi Magat and Rabbi Marvin Schwab and Steve Matuso are co-teaching the class based on the book, The Musar Torah Commentary, A Spiritual Path to Living a Meaningful and Ethical Life. Another adult ed opportunity begins at Monday at 7 o'clock. Phil Henkin will be teaching second-level adult Hebrew for those who can already read basic Hebrew. There will be 8 sessions on Zoom. On Tuesday morning, the rabbi will be doing his weekly chat at noon on Zoom. On Wednesday, another adult ed opportunity. Rabbi Magat will be teaching a class on death and dying in Reform Judaism. There will be 5 sessions on Wednesdays at 6:30 on Zoom. On Thursday at 7 on Zoom, the Green Team will be hosting a presentation discussion by Dave Rosenfeld, Executive Director of the Solar Rights Alliance and an advocate for rooftop solar owners. Next Friday, our Erev Shabbat service will be held in the sanctuary at 7 p.m. And next Shabbat morning, Baby Shabbat will begin again at 9 a.m. in the BFR, and you're welcome to join Edward Friend as he becomes a bar mitzvah at 10:30 a.m. in the sanctuary. Please pre-register for all events. All services are also being streamed. And before I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, I'd like to leave you with a Shabbat joke. What is the only martial art you're allowed to do on Shabbat? Jiu-jitsu. I heard it in the back. Yes. All right. Shabbat Shalom.
That's awesome. It's become a new minhag. Board member has to end with a joke. I like that. I like that. I know why you knew that answer too, young lady. I can't hear anything you're saying. This is what I hear. Take off your mask and yell it. She's really the person you want to hang out with. For any of us that are a little fearful, walk into our car, ask her to join you. Because she could take out anyone. That's all I'm saying. Actually, any of us you could, so that's good enough for any of us, so that's fine. That's right. Well, Ken, what do you think? Anything else? What do you think? We should move on to Elena, maybe?
So,
I think that works next. Yes. Let's continue with Elena then. Please rise over your ABU page 586.
we go to the ark.
Yeah. Just have to get this ready. Just get my stuff ready.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסר ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו
As we come to the moment in our service when we think about our loved ones who have died recently or in years past, I invite you, upon hearing the name of your loved one, if you choose to stand as a sign of your love and grief for that person, and to remain standing until the names on our yahrzeit list have been recited. Then together we will all rise. On this Shabbat, we're mindful of those that are grieving the Shiva, the first week of mourning for Duchy Henkin, mother of Suzanne Lerner. We also think of those that are grieving the Shloshim, the 30-day period of mourning for Lubov Gatzis, Phyllis Birdman, Norman Deshatsky, Vicky Marinos. As well, we think of those that are grieving the Shana, the first year mourning for Leon Averick, Robert Baker, Pauline Anderson Berkowitz, Carol Bitter, Roy Robert Creech, Alexander Cunningham, Bill Davenport, Alan Garshon, Charles Green, Phil Hammer, Bob Hirsch, Selma Karcham, Janet Katz, Kevin Krieger, Hal Lax, Father Bill Leninger, Marion Suni Levin, Michal Lubin, Michael Meltzer, Manny Migdal, Roberta Stivelman Newman, Patricio Orozco, Richard Peterson, Arlene Ravel, David Reiser, Steve Reese, Stanley Rosen, Steve Rosenthal, Lois Rosette, Betty Rossman, Rosalind Schwartz, Boris Supak, Marilyn Siller, Kit Snyder, Gunther Vogler, Marty Weisblatt, Henry Wild Sr., Florence Winnig, Millie Wolfson. We also think of the following yahrzeits that we observe on this Shabbat, as we think of Rose W. Aronoff, Harold Aronoff, Anna Berman, Genia Zins, Max Feldman, Leah Haas-Frank, Murray Hirsch, Gerald W. Hunter, Cheryl Cam, Louis Landman, Jack Levine, Joe Marchik, Lily Mayer, Anna Meyerfeld, Morris Myers, Gussie Panikoff, David L. Reisner, Gertrude Rott, Moritz Goldenroy, Dr. David G. Roy, Harry Rubenstein, Charles Rubin, Erwin Rusnak, Alexandra Sargent, Mildred Chev, Sophie Silverstein, Max Snyder, Carol Wachtenheim, Kurt Weinberg, Louis Weiner, Sarah Woodman, Virginia Williams, Sheila Wills. Zichronam livracha, may all of our loved ones endure as a blessing as you rise, turning to page 598 to recite together our Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shmei rabba, be'alma divrach yirutei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, b'agalav uzman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevorach le'olam olmei alamaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudesha b'reichu, le'olam mikol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran belma v'imru amen. Yehei shlomo rabba meshamaya, v'chayim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved among us, wherever they may be, as we say together, amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
We're going to conclude. Actually, I'm calling an audible from our
Nice, go for
outline
it.
here tonight so that we can sing a verse from our Parsha this week.
Nice.
From our creation story. I don't know if this is a familiar tune or not, but hopefully you'll catch on. And the second part works really nicely as a round. So if there's a part that you like, just stay on it and it'll sound beautiful with everybody else.
Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, v'hinei tov me'od. Vayar Elohim et kol asher asa, v'hinei tov me'od. There was evening, there was morning, there was evening, there
Shabbat Shalom. That was awesome. So we're going to continue with Kiddush and Motzi in the back there. So we'll meet you in the back. We're just going to wash hands here, and then we'll join you back there.